What is good? I mean, what is really good, my people? It is the UK Trotter Brother, Dr. Blick, the darkest man. Hurrah! Today, guys, I'm here with Dubazaki and Venge for Warburg. Say hi to the people, man.
Yo, guys, what's up? It's Dubazaki.
That's good. Bros and bros, and this is your boy, Venge for Warburg here in Dr. Love. I'm eating.
Oh my god. You sound like a villain, bro. You sound, not only did you introduce yourself as a DJ, you introduced yourself like an anime villain, bro. Like that laugh, bro. But anyway, guys, it'll be me continuing a series that I've done before called Anime That Need Video Games. And in the past, I did Yu Yu Hakusho, Bleach, Hunter x Hunter, and Fairy Tail. But today, guys, the main focus is gonna be My Hero Academia. The show that gets called Naruto 2.0 will be discussing a game that will be suited to this. Me, as you guys know, I'll be taking the backseat, basically asking Dubazaki and Venge a set of questions on what they would like to see from My Hero Academia game. So, Dubazaki, I'm going to ask you first, then I'm going to go into Venge because that's how it looks to me on my screen. So, okay, the first question is, what would be the perfect developer to develop this game? Like, who would you like to develop this My Hero Academia game if it was to be made on console?
Perfect developer. Well, straight away, I'm going to say not CC2. CC2, I'm going to say it right now, a terrible company, make terrible games. Well, they're not that bad, but their games are pretty much broken. I cannot stand them. So yeah, definitely don't touch it, CC2. But if we're going off any current games that I've recently played, One Piece Burning Blood, Spike Chunsoft, even though that game does have its problems, I do feel like they built the game in a pretty good way. It isn't as broken as CC2, gladly. So yeah, I'd definitely go with Spike.
So what about you, Venge?
All right. Well, obviously, I'm going to have to agree with Dubazaki on this one. Like, anyone other than CyberConnect 2 would be mostly appreciated. Because, like I said before, I followed the Naruto Storm series for quite some time. That's how I originally started my channel, you know, as my actual focus. You know what I mean? So, you know, my issues with them too repetitive for me. They never tried to push the bar in terms of quality gameplay wise, and so yeah, the even though this is probably gonna be a crazy one, and a lot of people are probably gonna be like, "That never happened." Well, a nigga can dream, and I'm going to have to go with my bros and bras from Square Enix, with their amazing immersive gameplay from Kingdom Hearts. I feel like a gameplay style similar to Kingdom Hearts, which is kind of like RPG-ish, combined with real-time gameplay. Thank you for that correction, Dubazaki, a while ago. I feel like that would fit very well, especially with the combination of platforming and the uses of different quirks from the series My Hero Academia. I just think it would be a beautiful fit. A beautiful fit for the fix.
Okay, the next question that I have is, what type of My Hero Academia game would you like to see? A lot of people would like fighters, a lot of people would say adventure. Like, what type of game would you feel that would be the best way to introduce a My Hero Academia game to console? And not only that, what ideal game would fit My Hero Academia? Dubazaki, what's your thoughts on this?
Okay, straight away, personally, I've played way too many anime fighting games. That is all we've had in recent years, all the way from Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 1, all the way up to now. That is all we know, that is all we've played, and at this point it is getting kind of ridiculous. We need a new type of game, we need a new way to play these games. Probably the best example of a game trying something new, especially anime related, is the upcoming Shinobi Striker game. That obviously is the first Naruto game we're getting since Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. And it's going in a completely different direction. Yes, it's still based around fighting, but for the most part it is something new. For My Hero Academia, don't want a fighting game at all. We want either an open world game or an adventure style game. Obviously in this game there is going to be combat. You can't have a game, I mean you can have a game without combat, but you know, let's just not talk about that right now. we've got a game of combat, we want to have boss battles in it, but as well as that, we want to focus on the actual terrain and the different places that we can actually visit in this game. Rather than just punching stuff, I want to be able to talk to people, I want to be able to walk around, I want to be able to visit places such as the academy. By doing this allows for a lot more different situations than just punchy kick. We can get different quests by talking to different players. Maybe, for example, we can be walking to the academy, we'll see that there's a problem that needs to be solved, we'll actually go and help it, because if you don't know, the whole point of My Hero Academia is that characters have quirks, they're basically superpowers. So by having these superpowers and the different characters having these superpowers, it actually allows for a lot of different situations. If we think about it logically, superheroes don't just sit there and fight all day, they do other stuff as well, and that's the sort of stuff I do want to see in this game. I just want to be able to see a lot of interactions between characters, and I want to see different scenarios and different story elements that we don't obviously see in a fighting game.
Okay, so what about you, Venge? What would be your ideal My Hero Academia game? Like, what would you like to see from My Hero Academia game in terms of style?
Boy, oh boy, me and Dubazaki think alike, bro. That's all I have to say. I agree with Dubazaki a lot in regards to this, so I'm just gonna kind of piggyback off what he was saying. Like one of the biggest issues here, like Dubazaki mentioned, that we need something new, and we've been introduced to so many fighting games that is not even funny. And my issue with that is, like, the thing with fighting games, even though it feels as though fighting games is definitely the type of game that's going to last longer, in terms of being immersed in the story of My Hero Academia, you're not necessarily going to get that in a fighting game. So I feel as though it would be really good to have something other than a fighting game, and I would go with, like I just mentioned, a style similar to Kingdom Hearts, because it pretty much gives you a little bit of everything that Dubazaki just mentioned. Interaction with characters, the different locales of the series, platforming, the use of different quirks in a variety of situations. It's like when you put all of that together, it is a true My Hero experience. And I feel like the more engaged somebody gets, the more, the more people are actually going to enjoy it over time. I guess, like, one of the issues is, like, okay, a lot of people say story mode type games are not going to be very successful, but that's not necessarily true, because execution is what matters. Persona is a perfect example of this, and a lot of people want to play Persona 5, and that's the kind of game that, like, once you finish it, you may not come back to it, but I don't know. It depends. What if the game lasts for a very long time? You know what I mean? So, obviously a lot of people's talking about it, so it must be pretty darn engaging. So I feel like this would be a step in the right direction.
Okay, that's cool. So my next question is, how important is it for this game to play towards the My Hero style, like to give you the My Hero feel? How important is that element to this game when you guys are talking about Dubazaki? Like what do you think?
I think this is extremely important. Obviously, when you make any game, especially if you're basing it off a current series, you need to make sure it captures the essence of that series. Otherwise, what's the point of giving the game that title? For it to do that, it wouldn't be difficult. As said, all you'd have to do is basically include the characters from the manga, from the anime, make sure that they follow all the right requirements, so each character has the correct quirk, each character has the correct speech style, they speak in a certain way, make sure it's like that in the game, and so on and so on. I feel as if the more it caters to the audience, the better the game will do overall. And an important thing to note is, just because they're catering it to an audience, well, a specific audience, it doesn't mean the game won't do well when it's directed to other markets. For example, just because it's a game based around an anime and based around My Hero Academia specifically, it's basically based around superpowers. The whole thing in My Hero Academia is we've got quirks, and superpowers is something that anyone can get into. You can sit down, see that this game's about some weird thing where people have weird powers, and it's like, okay, that sounds cool. So I feel like it is really important for them to cater to their initial audience, as that's where most of their initial sales are going to come from. But also at the same time, I feel like if they advertised it well, and if there was enough hype built around it, then people who may necessarily not go to these sort of games may get interested in them, just due to the fact that it is based around superpowers and it is based around this open world style.
Okay. What about you, Venge? What's your thoughts on this?
It's key, because if you think about it, this is going to be the first, well, this isn't necessarily the first ever My Hero game, because there was one released on the 3DS, but it would be, let's say, the first big console game, if you want to put it in that way. And if you're going to do that, you got to go big. You want to make it as engaging as possible. Give people a reason to care. Like there's so many other games out there. Like when you look at Naruto and you look at Dragon Ball, do those games truly make you feel like it's, you know, like it's close to the series? Does it give you that raw emotion? Does it give you abilities that is fitting of the series overall? And you look at My Hero, and there's so many things that they can take advantage of. For example, like I mentioned before, when you look at Spider-Man games, right, and then you're venturing around the city, New York City and everything, and as you're going from one place to another, a crime takes place, and you have the choice to stop the criminals. And you have to respond quick enough, or else, you know, you will not be able to stop the crime. They escaped. And with that said, adding themes like that to the My Hero game would just make the experience that much more. Because pretty much 90% of the people that's going to be curious about My Hero knows what a superhero is and what they do. And you don't want to develop a game that creates that disconnect. Like Dubazaki said, like, heroes do more than just beating up bad guys. What about stuff like community service activities, maybe like promotional type events, things of that nature? That would be freaking cool. Because remember, in My Hero Academia, they always mention that you have to establish rapport between hero and citizen. And I feel like if they do things like that, that would really make this game like a very unique anime game, and it would be a game that we haven't seen in a long time by doing so.
Okay.
Fighting games don't give you that.
So my next question is, when it comes down to people that have never seen My Hero Academia, how appealing and like would this be a game that people can get into? Like, will it appeal to people that are not into My Hero or have never seen My Hero? Would they be able to pick up this game and actually have the same enjoyment as the average My Hero Academia fan? What do you think about this, Dubazaki?
I feel like if they get the gameplay right, then anyone can enjoy the game. Literally, if it's a fun game, if you sit down and think to yourself without thinking about the anime whatsoever, if you sit down and go, this is a fun game at its core, then it doesn't matter what skin is put over it. The benefit of it being a My Hero Academia game specifically is it caters to a specific audience, and obviously that will actually improve sales when it comes to the actual like sales selling of the game. But as said, I feel like anyone could get into it if it is a good game at its core, and if people really cared enough after playing it, I'm sure it would spark some sort of intrigue. If I were to play a game where I didn't know it was based on a series, but then I start playing the game and I'm like, oh, I want to know more about these characters, then I would go personally look it up myself, and you never know, by playing this game it may actually lead them into enjoying the anime, enjoying the manga, and overall improving sales. And obviously if they're already a fan of the series, then this game is going to be perfect for them.
Okay, what about you, Venge?
Yeah, I'm in league with Dubazaki on this one. Like, pretty much, this would be a game that anyone would be able to pick up and play. One of the biggest points that I want to bring up when it comes to fighting games, one of the biggest issues with fighting games is that some people are good at them, some people understand how to play a fighting game, and then there are other people that don't know how to play fighting games or just don't have the time to learn them. Like, let me give you a good example. Like, let's say you're curious about Street Fighter, right? There's a whole lot of other things that you have to learn in Street Fighter, from overheads, frame data, know how to, you know, actually do a combo. You can't just press buttons and then you get an easy combo. There's a lot of mechanics that you need to understand, and you have to understand the character and so much more. And like, that's one of the reasons why Burning Blood kind of suffered, because like Spike did not introduce the characters very well. Their command list was utter garbage. I mean, it didn't break down how the characters, each character's abilities actually worked. And they didn't give specific commands to tell people, oh, if you do this button combination, here's what comes out, here's what it does. Half the time you learn that stuff just by looking at the daggum loading screen, and it shouldn't be there. Okay. So with that said, with a game such as this, where it's more like an adventure-esque type of game, like, anyone can learn how to play it. And usually a lot of those type of games has some decent tutorials. And then it's not rocket science, it's just superheroes with different abilities. There's nothing complicated about it.
Okay. So another question I have for you is that would you like to see, and I'm gonna ask you first, Venge, would you like to see a My Hero Academia created character game involvement? Like, would this be involved, or you don't want its inclusion?
Alright, DJ Venge. Fuck no. No. That no flow, bro. And I'm gonna tell you why it's not gonna give you the dough, yo. Now, here is why this is a big no. It's overdone. Like, we've seen this for the past couple years. It's been done overly too much, and I can even poke fun of my favorite fighting game series, Tekken. Like, they've been doing custom creation for a long time, where you can customize your favorite character. The only sad thing is, like, a fighting game, Tekken does it better than Xenoverse. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm going crazy right now, but yes, it's the truth. Like, they go into a lot of detail, and I'm not going to discuss a whole lot. Quick example, you can literally go in detail with every part of the character's hair, and this was back in a PlayStation 2 version of a Tekken game, Tekken 5. Read it! So, with that said, I mean, you look at the past few years of the anime series, like Xenoverse, a few other games, overdone. And when they do customization, you know, it's half-assed anyway. So I feel like, why should we waste our time on that and focus more on the characters themselves? Because if you're going to introduce My Hero, and this is like the first console game of its kind, you want to make the actual characters themselves the focal point. You shouldn't create a distraction with custom created characters.
Okay. What about you, Dubazaki?
I agree with Venge 100%. Just get rid of it. We don't need it. It literally adds nothing to the game. In Xenoverse, for example, right, I can have a bald guy that looks sort of like Krillin doing a Gallic gun, but yeah, that's fun for a whole 0.5 seconds, but after that, there is no goddamn point. All I can say is, if it were a My Hero Academia game, give me Izuku, give me Bakugo, just let me play as one of the characters we know and we love, and it will just make the game flow a lot better. Okay. So, my final question is, how well would this game do? Like,
with all the stuff you said, with all the stuff you put out there, with all your points and all your opinions out there, how well do you reckon this game would do? Venge, like, give your thoughts first.
Okay. It's kind of hard to say because of the nature of the community itself. Like, the past few years, the anime community has been surrounded by a plethora of fighting games, so it makes it difficult to gauge how successful it will be. But I will say this, like, especially when you look at how people reacted, especially like some of the bigger channels reacted to, you know, Naruto, the Boruto, Shinobi Strikers, and that rolls. Like, some people was hype about it. Then you had some really influential people that wasn't so hype because, like, the competitive aspect doesn't seem to be there, and it's like it's kind of hard to determine how successful it's going to be on that. However, I feel if the gameplay is good and it's enjoyable, and maybe they try to spice things up with, you know, introducing the characters, make a strong impact, draw people in, give people a reason to care, I feel like the game will definitely be successful. It has to leave a mark of engagement, and through solid gameplay and good focus, I feel like this game could actually do well.
What about you, Dubazaki?
I agree 100%. At the same time, I feel like it could do really well, and it has the possibility to do well, but due to it being the first game of its type and the first game where it's basically presenting a new idea, it will also suffer as well. I want to say that the game would do moderately well due to the current fans of My Hero Academia. I'm pretty certain any fan, any anime fan, any manga fan would be down to buy the game straight away, especially seeing that it isn't a fighting type game. Other people in other anime communities that maybe play like Xenoverse, maybe play Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm, I feel like they'd see the game and instantly be like, no, because all they've known for like the past like 8 years is a fighting game. Whether that be a 3D over the shoulder, run around, punch a guy in front of you, or it be a 2D fighting game. That's all we know, and that's all we've really ever had. Seeing something this new and different, I'm sure would put a lot of people off. And for that reason, I feel like initially the game wouldn't do as well as we want it to. As said, I feel due to the My Hero Academia fan base that's already there, it would sell pretty well because of them. But overall, I feel like it would take a couple more reincarnations, whether that be a different game completely. I feel like it would take a couple more for this sort of game to actually be the new face of anime style games. I really would want it to do well, but I just, as said, feel like it would take a couple of these sorts of games for that sort of gameplay and game to be appreciated in the community.
Okay. That's pretty much the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys liked it. Leave your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below, because I want to know what you guys think about this. Thank you, Dubazaki, and thank you, Venge, for featuring in this video. And yeah, the channel links will be in the description below, or I will pin it to the comment section. Either one. You guys know how I do this, bruh. Yeah. So let me just wrap up this video. So please comment and subscribe. I know I say this all the time, but at the end of the day, I'm just saying, please leave a like, rate, and enjoy this video. And yeah, this UK Chocolate Brother will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.